Hello everyone. Here I've already done my eyebrows and I've started my eyeshadow and everything. So here I've just applied an orange concealer under my eyes and around the corners of my mouth and any dark spots on my face. I'm doing that first. Oh, underneath that I did apply a black radiance primer to help keep the foundation in place and everything. So I'm blending out the orange concealer under my eyes, just blending that out. And also this is going to help cancel out any darkness, any dark circles. Okay, and for my foundation, I'm going to use this BB cream by Kiss. You can typically find it in your beauty supply stores. That's where I purchased it from for about $7 or so. And I think the color that I got was medium dark, and it matches me perfectly. So I'm just applying little droplets on my face, all around my face, in my T-zone, and definitely want to get over those areas where I applied the orange concealer, and just making sure that I blend everything so that the orange concealer coincides with the foundation. So that's all I'm doing here. And then I am using a buffer brush. I think I got that from Coastal Scents. I've had it for quite some time. As you can see by the duct tape that I have holding it together, that it's much utilized. So I did moisten the brush just with a little bit of water, just to help move the foundation, the BB, just to help move that BB cream around, and so that I can distribute it evenly on my face. So I'm just working that into my skin. I didn't use too much product because oftentimes, you have problems with transfer. So I was just trying to be cognizant of that because we were heading out to a family gathering for Thanksgiving, and there's going to be a lot of hugs. And I've actually had an experience where my foundation had transferred on to my uncle's white tuxedo on his wedding day. Yeah, so I did not want that to happen today. So I was just kind of reserved with this, making sure I didn't apply too much product. So again, I'm just working that into my skin and just making sure that I buff it out. And here I'm going to do a little highlighting, and I'm using a concealer that I purchased from the beauty supply store. It's a Ruby Kisses brand. I forget the name of it, but I will try to list all of the products that I used below in the description box. So again, I'm just applying it under my eyes, and I'm trying to concentrate it a little towards the outer V of my eyeshadow, just to kind of give it a sharper edge. I usually use tape with eyeshadow, but today I was really in a rush, so I didn't have time to go through all of that. But using concealer underneath your eyeshadow, and then blending it out would help define and give it that sharp edge. So I'm just applying it under my eyes, and then I'm going to blend everything out with my beauty sponge, just making sure I hit the center of my nose and on my forehead, just to give it some extra light. And here I'm taking my beauty sponge. It's a Real Technique sponge, and I love the sponge very much. So I'm just blending out that concealer. Okay, once I've done blending everything out, I'm going to use a Graftobian setting powder and banana cream pie. This is a really great setting powder. I use midnight, and I also use There's another one that I use, but I can't think of the name right now. So I'm just going to do a little baking, and I'm going to apply the setting powder under my eyes, on my forehead, and down my nose, everywhere that I had applied the concealer. And then I am going to do the baking method. I'm just going to let it sit on there maybe for about 5 minutes or so. I really don't know exactly how long I left it on there because I was doing other things while I was letting this bake on my face. Yeah, so just applying that setting powder everywhere, and then I am going to bake. In the meanwhile, I am going to touch up on my eyeshadow. I started it earlier due to time constraints. I really couldn't do a new look, so I just decided to touch it up. I am using the Sleek Eye Divine palette in Vintage Romance, and I'm using that deep purple there. No, I think it's a plum color, I'm sorry. And I'm just applying that with my finger, and I am putting that in my transition area. And I'm doing that on the other side. Is a really gorgeous plummy color. It does have glitter particles in it, but they're so subtle that it really wouldn't make a difference. And then here I am applying the deep purple shade, and I'm just applying that all over my lid. Again, I am not using a brush. I just felt like for this, like the fingers were very adequate enough to get the job done. So I was just kind of testing it out just to see how it will turn out. And I think it turned out really well. So from now on, I'm going to be incorporating the fingers to apply my eyeshadows more often. And then here I am taking a flat shader brush, and I am taking that same purple shade that I applied on my lid, and I am applying that to the lower lid just to kind of give it a smoky effect. And I'm applying that to both lower lids. And then I'm applying it, and then I'm trying to make sure that I connect it to the outer V. And I'm doing that on the other lower lid as well. Okay, here I am going to apply my eyeliner, and I'm using a L'Oreal black gel eyeliner. Again, I will list all of the products down below. But here I am just following the shape that was left from blending out the concealer. It kind of created a wing, which I'm going to use as a template to do a wing eyeliner. So I'm just basically tracing along the edge of the outer V, starting there and then dragging it down to the lash line. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other eye. So just applying just the basic wing eyeliner. It's probably going to be kind of subtle because of the smokiness on the outer V, but you know, this step is kind of redundant because the eye is very smoky, but I love eyeliner and I do it with every eye look. So, oh well, it is what it is. Okay, so after applying the eyeliner, I am going to wipe away the excess powder under my eyes and everywhere I applied that setting powder, just getting rid of it. I felt that I've let it sit long enough, and honestly, this method works wonders. I mean, after sitting in a hot house all day with a room full of people, we draw heat and I was sweating, but this concealer did not crease on me, which is the purpose of doing the baking method and applying the setting powder or whatever. So it did work wonders. Now here I am applying a burgundy lip liner. I think it's Italia Deluxe, and I am applying that on the perimeters of my mouth, and then I am going to kind of feather it in some, like on the corners of my mouth, and you'll see shortly how I'm doing that, and just kind of blending everything in because I really wanted an ombre look. Okay, and on top of my lips, I will be applying the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in Lolita. So I'm just basically applying that on the bare parts of my lip. On the top of the lip, I'm just going to go slightly over that lip liner just to give it that ombre effect. And I really like how everything came out, so I'm going to be using this combination more often because oftentimes I kind of get lost in the sauce about what color combinations as far as lips to put together. But like I said, I really love how this came out because the eyes are so dramatic. You kind of want to do the lips kind of subtle, but I figured if I do color on color, it'll be okay. Yeah, so I love how the lips came out. Okay, here I'm going to do some contouring. I am using a sleek contour palette in dark, and I'm taking, it's like a flat shader brush. It's like a smaller contour brush from the Coastal Scents, one of their brush kits, and I'm just taking that along the edge or the bridge of my nose and applying it and then blending it out with my fingers. I find that the fingers are very effective in blending. So again, I'm just going along the edges of my nose and just blending it out, kind of sweeping it downwards. So just kind of doing what I can to make sure that it doesn't look too crazy to accomplish that contoured nose look. Okay, and I'm taking a contour brush that I used for my cheeks, going back into that sleek contour palette, and I am just contouring my cheeks. And I just keep going and blending at the same time until I'm satisfied with the look. And I'm doing the same thing on the other cheek as well. Once I'm done contouring, I am going to apply a blush, and this is from ColourPop in the color Swift. It's a very subtle burnt orange color, and I love how it looks. So I'm making sure that I smile, and I am applying it on both cheeks. I applied it with the fingers first, and then I took a blending brush, buffer brush, I guess, and I just buffed it into my cheeks. And then here I had to solicit the help of my daughter. My phone was ringing, and it was my husband. He's hungry, stomach growling, pushing to the back of his ribs, honey, and he was rushing me, saying that we had to go. So I'm like, okay, let me get a move on, because it doesn't, you know, when you're doing makeup, it kind of can take a long time, but perfection is perfection. Okay, here I'm using the City Colors Timeless Beauty palette, and I am using that second from the left color. It's like a peachy color, and I'm just applying it there. I love how it makes you glow. I mean, it's so flippin' beautiful. But I could not, I had to use this to complete my whole makeup look. So I don't care if he was rushing me. I had to get my glow on. Okay, so you've watched how I did this makeup look, and I just wanted to touch up, just basically touch on the wearability of the products. I applied the makeup. It was about 3:17 or so when I finished everything, and now the time is 7:36. And so the lipstick that I'm wearing is the Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in Lolita, and it doesn't feel dry on the lips at all. It still feels very comfortable. It's worn off some, but it's still there. So that lipstick is very lasting. And then also the highlight that I had used from the City Color Timeless Beauty Palette, that highlight is still popping. So there was another video that I had did where I had reviewed excuse me, the Wet n Wild highlighter Fergie collection, and I really didn't touch on like how long they last. So but I did showcase the this timeless palette here. And again, this is City Color, and I think I paid about $10 for this. But as you can see, it is still visible, like it's still popping. So I just wanted to basically just touch on that, at least showcase the wearability and the longevity of this highlighter. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I hope everyone had a very great Thanksgiving. I am in the house super early, and I'm a little salty because I did not make myself a take-home plate by the time I got there, because we are always late. No matter what event, we're going to arrive late. So by the time I get there, the food was kind of scarce. I was able to get like a nice sizable plate, but by the time that I finished all the food was just completely gone. And I was just so sorry that I was not able to make myself a plate to dig in later. But anyway, it is what it is. Alright, thank you for watching. Bye.